Theresa and I met when we were doing voluntary work. Believe it or not, I had really long hair at one time, and I asked Theresa to trim it, and she wasn't very good at trimming hair, and so my hair that used to be down here ended up here, and I sort of fell out with her, and anyway, that kind of blossomed into love, and we've been married well over 40 odd years. I remember the wedding as if it was yesterday. We had one son, Craig, and we talked every single day.
Kind of grew up doing everything, just me, mum and my dad. They both grew up on the kind of east coast of Scotland and moved to the west, so it kind of really was just us for quite a while.
Theresa was she was the organiser. She lit up a room, people listened, she was fun, she had energy.
She was a really strong woman. It's probably hardest working woman I've ever met. She was an absolute force within communities and helping people. She was the life and soul of every party, even though she never drank. She was the one who would always stand up and speak, or she was the loudest on the dance floor and all that sort of stuff, and she had that big personality, but it was just her.
Theresa was as fit as a fiddle, never off sick, and our favourite place was down in Irvine Harbour, and that's what we did every single day. Jumped in the car down to Irvine Harbour for an hour's walk, just perfect. It was the first time she said, I'm feeling a bit tired. And then she said to us, she says, it's funny, my fingers are feeling warm. And then never thought anything more of it. And next day, she says, I nearly woke you up during the night. I said, what for? Like, she said, I was feeling a bit anxious. Theresa was working from home that day. She says, I've got a report to write, I'll just work from home. I was coaching somebody through the internet, and I had heard her up walking about, and I thought I heard her being a wee bit sick. So, I went through and I said, are you okay? She says, I've got a really bad taste in my mouth. She said, do you have a mint? I said, I do have mints. So I went and got her mints. And she said, I don't have much in, but there's a cup of soup. Go downstairs and make yourself a cup of soup. Went downstairs, boiled the kettle, then I heard this wail. Ran back upstairs and she was dead. She was lying in bed dead. I started on the phone trying to get the ambulance, and the ambulance person's telling us to try and resuscitate her. I was trying my hardest, and then the doorbell rang. I thought, how's this? I can't answer the door, and it was an ambulance. It was as quick as that.
And my dad just phoned me and said, look, you need to come home. And when we got here, my dad said, look, she's had a heart attack. There was somebody in working on her, but my dad said, look, I know she's away. And it was that sudden. So never really got the chance to say goodbye, never really got any of that moment. And to just go like that just didn't make any sense in our head. And then you've got the loss for yourself. You need to start thinking about how you tell, like, my boy and Lassie, who were just doted on her.
Once the funeral was finished, then you had to come back to the empty house. I just call it the empty seat, because she was that core. Christmas time, oh God, she was big on Christmas. Big on Christmas. And even in July, we were thinking, what the hell is Christmas going to be like? Because Theresa's not going to be there. Signing Christmas cards for the first time from Doogie. That was tough.
Maybe me and Tracy would try and not say too much to get my dad too emotional. My dad would try and not say too much to get us too emotional and make it as normal as it could for the kids. But then the kids just would come out and talk. Can we put videos of my gran on? Oh, my gran would be doing this at this time. I remember the time she'd done that. So the kids keep us right, and they also keep my mum's memory alive with Ben.
Eva in particular will go away and draw something and say, I'm so sorry for you, Grandad. You must be missing Gran, because we miss Gran. So it's always on their mind.
As we come down the stairs in my house, there's a painting up there, and then there's a kind of couple of pictures either side of my mum and dad. And it gives us just that wee moment every morning where my son gets to see his Gran, who he never got to meet. So the wee moments are massive for me.
Theresa was healthy, never got ill, never missed a day's work. And so it just didn't compute. But you know, after that you start to question, after that you start to think, you know, should we have known?
So we kind of got to a point where we need to give something back. We've got all this emotion and we're not really doing anything with it. And so we wanted to, first of all, do something for us to be able to kind of use our emotions in a more positive way. And so we came up with some different ways to get people involved, and we just kind of called it Team Theresa. At that point, the kind of big start for Heart Research UK in Scotland was that there was 47 people dying a day. So I decided I was going to run a 10k every day for 47 days. Well, a big part of getting in touch with Heart Research UK was partly they were talking about the impact on women and might it be different to men, and what other stuff they should be looking at in terms of, one, should we have known more as men? Should we have been looking after my mum? Two, there's big stuff about women maybe taking longer to ask for help, and my mum would certainly fall into that category. She would have been the last person to ask a doctor for help.
I've yet to talk to anybody who lost their mother or sister or daughter who said, oh, they had a great big pain in their heart and pins and needles. It tends to be these smaller things. So just raising awareness from that, better being safe than sorry.
They'll be getting checked more often, but also looking after their own health a bit more, and kind of the preventative stuff that we can be doing in some of the communities and places that the charity is working with. We use it as a way to keep my mum's memory alive for us, as much as a lot of people who still hold her really close and want to talk about her and want to talk about the impact that she had. And so that's massive for us, and obviously on top of that, if we can help other people not be in the situation that we're in, then it's absolutely worthwhile doing, and if we can have that kind of impact, then brilliant.